Hey everyone, this is Sam Overton back at you again with another free Code Camp JavaScript Basics tutorial. I'm going to start where I left off. I think I left off at the finding a remainder in JavaScript section, and this time I'm only going to do a 15-minute Pomodoro. It's going to say 30 minutes up top, but it's only going to be 15 minutes. The other video went pretty long, the first one that I have. You can check that one out. But I'm going to start just doing 15-minute Pomodoro so we can just crank it out a little faster. So here we go. We're about to get it started right now. All right, so we have the basic JavaScript, finding a remainder in JavaScript. The remainder operator, which is this symbol, gives the remainder of the division of two numbers. So it just gives you a remainder, just like in mathematics. So let's just set this one up. I don't think there's a lot to think about. So we have a variable named remainder. Look, and I forgot to start my Pomodoro. Why you guys didn't tell me? So we have the Pomodoro starting. It's 30 minutes, but I'm going to stop at 15. So we have a variable named remainder, and we're going to have that equals, down here it's telling us what we need to do. So it says set remainder equal to the remainder of 11 divided by 3. So it says remainder 11. So in order to get that remainder, we need that symbol, the modulo symbol. And I think this is correct. So we have var remainder equals 11 modulos 3. And the modulos, again, is this percentage sign. And I'm going to hit Command Enter, and there you go. It says submit. Go to the next challenge. So we're correct. We were able to get a remainder of 2 with that. Next, we have compound assignment with augmented addition. In programming, it's common to use assignments to modify the contents of a variable. Remember that everything to the right of the equal sign is evaluated first. So we can say var equals, my var equals my var plus 5. And to add 5 to my var, that's what this would do. So it'll add 5 to my var. Since this is such a common pattern, there are operators which can do both a mathematical operation and an assignment in one step. And this is where we're going to learn about this operator. Don't really compound assignment operator with augmented additions. It's a long name. I just call it the plus equal operator, and that is essentially where we're going to do the same thing as this. We're going to take a look at that. So it says convert the assignments for A, B, and C to use the plus equal operator. So here we go. It says only modify the code below this line. So let's see if we can get this right. So we have A plus equal 12. Yep. Then we have B plus equal 9, and then we'll have C plus equal 7. And I hit Command Enter in order for me to test and submit my challenge and submit my code. let's go back to the solution. So it's right here, just learning about the different operators. So instead of us typing out my var equals my var plus 5, instead of doing all that, just a simple way of doing it. When I was first getting into programming, this syntax confused me, so I used to write it out this way, just so I had a clear understanding of what's going on in my head. And then also, when even if it's still a little bit confusing, when you're really gonna see it is when you're digging into other people's code, and you may not use this syntax right away, just because you just want to have a clear understanding, like I was trying to do. But when you dig into some different code or source code, or working at work, you can you'll see this syntax, and you'll be familiar on what to do for you to figure out what that is. So just to give you how I go about thinking about that problem or this syntax. So going on to the next. So here we go. It says basic JavaScript compound assignment with augmented subtraction. So it's the same thing. We're going to go about this pretty fast. So minus equal B minus equal 15, and C. There we go. It's pretty these ones that kind of repeat themselves, just using subtraction or addition, I'll go through pretty fast once we go about the first one. Maybe later. Here we go. Also have compound assignments with augmented multiplication. It's the same thing, but now we're just multiplying. So we're going to do the same exact thing. So A times equals B times equal, and C times equal, and then there we go. Hit Command Enter in order to enter my solution, and then that to go. And then again, it's the same thing basically again. So gonna do is division equals B division equals 4, and then C division equals 11. Command Enter, and there we go again, guys. This syntax. Doing all of this is pretty basic to JavaScript. Just wanted to start from the beginning and get our feet wet, just in case we have people who aren't truly familiar and want to know just how someone else is thinking about it, or how someone is going through it. Just want this to be there for them. Also, just to make sure that I'm understanding and can explain what's going on as well. So now we have declare string variables. So previously we've used the code var my name equals your name. Your name is called a string literal. It is string because it's a series of 0 or more characters enclosed in a single or double quotes. So it's considered a string literal because these quotes right here. That's why it's a string. So create two new strings, variable my first name and my last name, and assign them a value of your first and last name. Okay, So we have a var my first name equals Sam. Don't forget the semicolon. And var my last name. I was about to say second name. Don't have two names. My last name equals Overton. If I add a semicolon at the end and see that it's wrapped in the single or double quotation mark, which makes it a string, Command Enter. And there we go. Command Enter to go to the next challenge. Escaping literal quotes in string. So when you are defining a string, you must start and end with the single or double quote. What happens when you need a literal quote, so a double quote or single quote inside of your string? What if you need to add that single or double quote inside of the string that already has single or double quotes? In JavaScript, you can escape the quote from considering it as a end of string quote by placing a backslash in front of the quote. So in here, when you place the backslash in front of a single quote, it signals to JavaScript that the following quote is not the end of the string, but should instead appear inside of the string. So if you were to print this to the console, you will get, so if you were to print this to the console, you will get this. So now they want me to use backslashes to assign a string to my string variable, and so that if you were to print it to the console, it would print like this. Okay, so my string, they already gave me a double quote, and I'm going to type in I am a, then we would need a backslash, and we have to type in double quote. I have to add quotation marks right here as well. So backslash, quotation mark, and then I'll have to do a forward slash with the ending quotation mark, and then I can keep writing string inside double quotes, so I will need a forward slash, forward slash. I always get those confused, forward, backward slashes. That always confuses me. I hope I'm not alone in this. I hope there's some other people that get confused with me as well. That way I don't feel as bad. So what I'm going to do is do a forward slash, quote again, and then double quotes the word, and then I'm going to use quotation. No, I'm going to use forward slash, backslash, quotation mark, period, and I'm going to end it in quotes. So this one was a little bit more difficult, everyone. Some of this stuff can become a little difficult when you have a lot of things going on within here. So let me repeat this. So I have the beginning of my actual string. So this is the string that I'm using in JavaScript. So I have I am a, this double quote is also needs to have string, it needs to have quotation marks within this string. So in order to do that, so we can let JavaScript know, hey, don't end our string here. We need this / quotation mark. And then we're going to do double quote the word / quotation mark again. And then we're going to keep writing. This is still part of the JavaScript script string. And it says string inside. Don't have to worry about that. But when I want to use the quotes again, I have to use / quote, double quotes, the word, / quote, that, and this ends the double quote, it ends this quotation mark within this string. Then I can use the period and then the ending quotation mark of the string, which this can be a little bit confusing to explain. But if you go through it, again, and if you go through it a few more times, just in your head, it'll start to make sense. And I don't know how else to really explain it, but it gets a little cumbersome. When we move on to ES6, it has a little bit more explanations on, or no, I'm sorry, not explanations. It has an easier syntax to use than this. So that's the only, when you, any programming language, when you're doing quotation marks within the actual string, it gets a little tricky, or you got to just know their syntax. That's all. So I'm going to run this test, command enter, and you see, look, I am even running into a little bit of trouble. So it says double quoted. I think I just misspelled a word. Command enter again. Yeah, just misspelled a word. So let's go. I'm already past my time, but I just wanted to finish one more, and then we can wrap it up for today, and then we'll move on. And we'll just keep chugging along. We'll do as many days as it takes to get through the basics, and we'll just keep moving on from there and just keep getting better and better. So, so it says quoting strings with single quotes. Okay, so string values in JavaScript may be written with single or double quotes as long as you start and end with the same type of quote. Unlike some other programming language, single and double quotes work the same in JavaScript. Pretty simple. Reason why you might want to use one type of quote over another is if you want to use both in a string. This might happen if you want to save a conversation in a string and have the conversation in quotes. Another use for it would be saving a tag with various attributes in quotes within a string. So conversation equals single quote, Finn exclaims to Jake, algebraic in double quotes, and then end with the single quote. However, this becomes a problem if you need to use the outermost quotes within it. Remember, a string has the same kind of quote at the beginning and the end. But if you have the same quote somewhere in the middle, string will stop early and throw an error. So if you use this let's in here, within this string right here, you see how this is a single and it's supposed to end at the very end, but it's seeing this single quote within there. It's going to throw an error, so you gotta use that / to let it know, like, hey, this is single string, keep going, don't worry about this word, don't worry about this quote, this single quote right here, just keep going. So let's see what we have to do. The backslashes, see, I was calling them /. The backslashes should not be confused with the /. They do not do the same thing. So it says change the provided string to a string with single quotes at the beginning and end and no escape characters. Right now, the A tag in the string uses double quotes everywhere. You will need to change the outer quotes to single quotes so you can remove the escape characters. Excuse me. So first thing I'm going to do, move outer quote from a double to a single quote. And I think that's it. Oh, nope. It says remove all backslashes. So because we're adding this single quote, JavaScript recognizes that this is still a string, even with the double quotes within there, and as long as they have this opening and closing double quote, like right here, and then the single quote, they match up, everything should work correctly. So let's see if we got everything right. Command enter. Says remove all backslashes, so I didn't remove. Uh-oh. So I think that should be good. Command enter. Yes, that is good. Simple. These are simple things that when you start getting into just like doing some different exercises, or you just need something within your program that you'll be building, you do something with strings. So these are things that you'll probably look up again. It's just to know what to look up, though. It's sometimes unless you do it very often, don't remember a lot like this just off the top of your head. Sometimes you just need a quick reference. Oh, this is what this is. Okay, I remember how to do it. You don't have to remember everything, but this is a reference, so then that way you know. And once if you do it often, you'll get used to it. Most time you won't, and with the newer syntax, you won't even have to do this. We'll go over that in the future. Excuse me, everyone. But I want to thank you all for joining me today. You all take care. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your life. Everybody take care. Peace.